All right, let's dive in. Today, we're decoding what's next for crypto by taking a close look at four powerful stories, or what we call narratives, that are really shaping the market.
If you follow crypto, you know the feeling, right? The market is just filled with noise, a constant flood of news, brand new projects, crazy volatility. So how in the world do you cut through all that and find the signal, the trends that actually matter?
Well, the answer is to start thinking in terms of market narratives. A narrative isn't just hype, it's a shared story, a collective belief that helps everyone make sense of what's going on. It's like putting on a special pair of glasses that helps you find clarity and spot the big shifts that are actually creating value.
So here's what we're going to walk through. We've got four of the biggest narratives on our radar today. First, the incredible combo of AI and crypto. Then, the rise of what's called DePIN. Third, the tokenization of real-world assets. And finally, the super important scaling solutions called Layer 2s. Then we'll wrap it all up with a big question. First up, a narrative that's mashing together two of the most powerful technologies out there, AI and crypto. The grand vision here is nothing less than building a decentralized brain for the entire world.
So, what does that actually mean? Well, right now, AI is pretty much dominated by a handful of giant tech companies. The whole idea behind the AI crypto narrative is to use blockchain to completely flip that script. It's about building AI systems that are open, transparent, and actually owned by the communities that build and use them, not by a few corporations.
And this is a huge deal. Suddenly, you can create open marketplaces where anyone, anywhere, can contribute their AI models or their computer's processing power. It lets AI agents have their own crypto wallets and pay for things on their own. It just creates a much more open and fair way to build AI. We're already seeing this happen with things like GPU rendering and data indexing projects. A really fantastic example of this in the wild is BitTensor. The best way to think about it is like a giant, decentralized brain where thousands of different AI models are all competing and cooperating. They get rewarded with the network's token, tau, based on how smart or valuable their contribution is. It's this incredible system for crowdsourcing a global AI.
Okay, let's switch gears to our second narrative. This one is all about connecting the digital world of crypto to the actual physical world all around us. We're talking about DePIN, which stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks.
Honestly, the simplest way to get your head around DePIN is to think of it like an Airbnb for hardware. It's basically networks that pay regular people like you and me in crypto tokens to contribute our real-world hardware, stuff like spare hard drive space, your Wi-Fi signal, or even the computing power your device isn't using. Now, what's so cool about this is that it lets us build real-world infrastructure, things like wireless networks or cloud storage, way faster and cheaper than the big centralized companies can. Plus, it creates a brand new way for people to earn passive income from the stuff they already own.
The classic example here is helium. It's an amazing story. Helium basically paid thousands of people all over the world in HNT tokens to set up these little wireless hotspots in their homes. And by doing that, they built this massive global network for Internet of Things devices, literally from the ground up, completely sidestepping the traditional telecom giants.
Our third narrative is one that a lot of people think could be the biggest of them all. We're talking about the potential to bring trillions, with a T, of dollars from traditional finance right onto the blockchain. This is the world of real-world assets, or RWAs. The whole idea here boils down to one word: tokenization. It sounds technical, but it's just the process of creating a digital token that represents ownership of something in the real world. That could be anything: a piece of a building, a share of stock, a rare bottle of wine, you name it. And once it's a token, you can trade it on the blockchain, slick and easy.
And this quote from Nightview Capital, it nails it. The 2020s are defined by software animating the physical world. If the last decade was about software taking over our digital lives, this decade is all about software breathing new life into our physical world.
So why is this such a big deal? It totally changes what it means to own something. Think about a self-driving car. Right now, a car is a cost. It just sits in your driveway losing value 95% of the time. But if it's a tokenized RWA, it could plug itself into a robo-taxi network while you're not using it, earning you money. It transforms a cost into a productive, income-generating machine.
Okay, so all these grand visions of AI brains and tokenized cars are amazing. But for any of them to actually work for millions or billions of people, the technology underneath has to be super fast and super cheap. And that brings us to our final and absolutely essential narrative, Layer 2s. Layer 2s are here to solve blockchain's massive traffic problem. Just imagine a big blockchain like Ethereum is a super busy highway. It's incredibly secure, which is great, but it can get really congested and expensive to use. Layer 2s are like express lanes built right on top of that highway. They zip transactions along much faster and cheaper, and then they settle everything back down on the main secure chain. And you can really see the difference here. With Layer 2s, you get to inherit all the amazing security of the main network, but you get a massive upgrade in speed and cost. I mean, we're talking about transactions that could cost you dollars on Ethereum, costing just pennies on a Layer 2. That makes all sorts of new things possible.
You have projects like Optimism that are really leading the charge with ideas like their superchain, and they measure their success by looking at things like real economic value, which is just a fancy way of saying they're proving that people are willing to pay to use the network because it's genuinely useful. When you drive down fees, you unlock a ton of new innovation.
So there we have it, 4 really different but also connected visions for what's next. We've got the decentralized global brain with AI, a user-owned physical world with DePIN, a massive bridge to traditional finance with RWAs, and Layer 2s, the engine that could make the entire internet run on-chain. Each one of these stories presents a pretty compelling path forward. The really big question we're left with is, which of these narratives is going to be the most transformative in the end? Which one do you believe in the most?
And that's our look at the 4 narratives shaping crypto. Thanks so much for joining us.